Welcome to Eagles and Airwaves, voices and topics from Thompson Valley High School.
Hey guys, it's me again, and today I was like, I have a topic I want to talk about, and that is disorders and depression in teens. And let me tell you why I want to talk about this, because I think it's good to get it out there that, let me move this microphone a little closer. I think it's good to get it out there that this type of stuff is normal, and if you do have depression or anxiety or something like that, you're not the only one. And I know that I say that because I know that a lot of people, when they're going through that, that's how it feels. They feel like they are alone. They feel like they don't have that source that they can go to. I know, trust, I know. Let me pull something up. But okay. Sorry about that. So, personally, I come from, no, I've already said that before, that I come from a tough background, but personally, myself, I have a few things that I'm trying to work on, such as I am, for instance, I am bipolar. And on top of that, depression and anxiety runs in my family. So not only am I bipolar, but I also have to deal with that. And I feel like a lot of people who do have that don't know how to talk about it. And personally, I'm the same way. Last night, I had this episode, and it was, man, let me tell you something. let me tell you something. When you're feeling that way, especially if you have bipolar, you need to remember that these episodes don't last forever. And that's the same with depression. You might have it for a very long time, but it's not going to go away unless you put effort in to help it to make it go away. My bad. And that's something I try to remember, but I can't. And, let's go through the symptoms of depression in teens. Feelings of sadness, which can include crying spells for no apparent reason. Frustration or feelings of anger, even over small matters. Feeling hopeless or empty. Irritable or annoyed mood. Loss of interest or pleasure in usual activities. Loss of interest in or conflict with family and friends, and low self-esteem. So I feel like that's a very common thing within teenagers now, especially with social media and the school system. I feel like now kids are way meaner than they were back then. But I wouldn't know because I wasn't alive back then. Also, yesterday was my birthday. So, yeah. Happy 17th birthday. That was my clapping. I had an awful day yesterday, if you were wondering. Because I had... Hold on. I had feelings of sadness, which can include crying spells for no apparent reason, and frustration or feelings of anger. And that's normal. But it's not something you want to get in the way of your relationships, because that's when it's getting bad. And I don't know how to... This is all just coming from a random teenager at a high school. Okay, I don't know anything about this, but I do want to be a therapist when I'm older. And I'm probably not doing a very good job right now. But let me tell you something. Stop feeling sorry for yourself. Yeah, I said it. And I mean it. I don't mean it in a mean way. I mean it in a stop feeling sorry for yourself, or else you're not going to get better. a lot of people, and I know that's hard to say because I used to be in that situation too. I am in that situation. I have my ups and downs. It's either so we're still trying to figure out what I have. It's either, and here's where it sucks because it runs in my family. It's either bipolar or even worse, personality disorder. And having that on top of everything else is so stressful. But I try to stay as positive as I can. And you know, during those moments, you don't think straight. You don't think of what you're saying to other people. You don't think of how your words are hurting other people. You don't think of how your impulsive decisions are going to affect you in the future, because when you're in one of these episodes, the best I can explain it for somebody who doesn't have this is you feel I feel very tense. I feel all I want to do is cry. Then every single thing just runs through my head. I get all these thoughts. Oh, I'm gonna die. I'm gonna die one day. My life might go to crap when I'm older. Maybe I'll never get a job. Why doesn't anyone like me? All of these thoughts that aren't even true, that I don't even need to be worrying about, just come spewing into my head. And then on top of that, my mom would try to come talk to me, and I'll be like, and this is don't talk to your parents like this, guys. But I'll be like, get out! I don't want to talk right now. And it's hard. Yesterday, I almost punched a hole into my wall, and that's what you don't want to do, guys. You don't want to do that because that's an impulse move. That's how you take out your anger, and you don't want to be taking out your anger aggressively. Let me tell you that, because coming from an aggressive family, that's not something you want to pass down to people. You know what I mean? And so I'm trying to explain. Let me give you guys some good coping mechanisms of what I do. So, for the people who don't like writing their emotions down, or no. For people who don't like talking about their emotions, write them down. Just get a journal. Write down your emotions. That's what I do, because let me tell you something. A lot of times I don't know what's wrong with me. I don't know my feelings. I don't know anything. I just feel sad and awful, and I feel like a big pile of dog poop, And what I learned, write down everything you're thinking in that second. Whether it's on paper or in your notes app. Personally, I like writing it on paper because I like writing. I'm obsessed with my handwriting. I don't know why, but personally, I write it down. I will take a piece of paper, my journal. I'll grab a pencil or a pen, whatever you want, and I'll just start writing. I'll be like, today I feel like this. And then it just kind of flows. You just start writing everything down. You're like, okay, like this is how I'm feeling. And then as you continue to do that, you read through them and you connect the dots. Hold on. Excuse me, I had to burp. You connect the dots, right? Like, I'm trying to think of a good example. Okay, say you're fighting with your parents. You write that down. Today, I got into a fight with my mom. So let's say the next day you write down, oh, today I'm feeling sad, or blah, 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 however you're feeling. The next day, today I got into a fight with my mom. I'm feeling sad. I feel alone, Connect those dots. Maybe the reason you're feeling sad is because of your home life, and that's something you need to work on. I'm not just saying that's something you need to work on. You, as a person in your family, you guys need to work together, because that's one thing. I feel like in my family, I'm expected to change, but nobody else really puts a change in. Which I know that's not true. Everybody's trying to change, but it feels like that nobody really tries to change. And that's, I don't know, that's one thing because, listen, I love my family, but we are not gentle people. My little brother, he's the babied one, okay? He gets, oh, you can't be doing that. Don't throw the brick at the wall. That's not good. But if I did it, Emma, what are you doing? Why'd you throw a brick at the wall? You know what I mean? Like little, I don't know why I used a brick as an example. That was kind of dumb. little things I get, maybe it's because I'm older, because my brother and I have a 12-year age gap. He turns 5, and he is not a little angel. Let's just say he's not a little angel. I love him. Man, I would do anything for that kid, but I cannot be around him sometimes. Sometimes he is, and sometimes he just has the worst manners. And I don't know what we are not doing, because this kid will just sit there and scream at you. And it's like, what? If that was me, I would have gotten the belt. Okay? But also, I grew up as a 2007 kid, so, like, you know, that was normal back then. You know what I mean? I'm not saying you guys should hit your kids with belts. I'm just saying that was a form of punishment back in my day. Or the wooden spoon. Oh my gosh, don't even get me started on the wooden spoon. That hurt. But I'm sorry, I just went off on like such a rant. Anyways, what I'm getting at here, let's make my last minutes of this about actually controlling your emotions. What you need to do when you're in that situation, you need to stop and think, why am I feeling this way? And how long is this gonna last? That's what I ask myself. Why am I feeling this way? How long is this gonna last? If you're able to answer those things logically, I'm feeling this way because blah, blah, blah. This is only gonna last a little bit. I'm talking about a bipolar episode, by the way. If you're depressed, like, because depression doesn't just go away. It doesn't just disappear like that. Now, my grandma thinks that sniffing a few essential oils will make it go away. Bless that lady. I love her. But, Lucy, I'm not going to sniff some lavender and be fine afterwards, okay? That's not how it works. But I recommend doing something spiritually. And I know I don't mean like, it doesn't even have to be religion. It could just be meditation, calming yourself down. Do something you know will calm yourself down. Don't do things that are only going to make it worse. And I know that's hard. That's hard to say. It is so stressful. This life is so stressful sometimes. And it's going to be like that. Life kicks you in the buttocks. Let me tell you that. And there's nothing you can do about it besides keep your head up and try to stay positive. You know, I always tell people, fake it till you make it. That's what I did. I went through a period where I was so depressed, and then I was like, you know what? I'm going to pretend to be happy. And I pretended to be happy, and then I started being more happy, and then I thought of things every day that I was grateful for. Well, what am I grateful for today? I'm grateful I actually have a roof over my head. I have a family that cares about me. I have at least 2 friends at the time. I was homeschooled too, so I didn't talk to many people. What else? That I have food. That I have access to clean water. Because there are so many people around the world that stay as positive as they can, and they have nothing. Nothing. And look at us. We're sitting over here moping about something when we have so much to be grateful for. It's like, this world is so cruel. It is so cruel. You got school shootings, you got murders, robbery, all this and that. so many animal abuse, so many bad things in this world. And it kills me. Oh my gosh, don't even get me started. I want to be a police officer because of school shootings. I want to be able to protect kids. I don't even like kids, but they have a soft spot in my heart, and that's not going to change. I think it's because it goes against the human nature to want to harm a child, because naturally we're supposed to be protecting the little ones, and to go against that, it's uneasy. It's an unsettling feeling, and I don't know. You just need to think about things that are gonna make you happy. You need to put in the effort. If you want to be happy, you need to put in the effort. And I know I've just been rambling on, but stay positive. And I know that's so hard to do. I know, trust me. When I was in that situation, it sounded so dumb when people told me to just stay positive, because how could I stay positive in this mental state? How could I physically be happy about things in this mental state? Well, you can. You can. You just need to try, and you're not trying. And that sounds so mean. That sounds so mean. But I wish I could have told myself that. Because now, yeah, I have my ups and I have my downs. And right now, I might be going through a down. But, I'm still going to try. I'm still going to try because I want to be happy. You think I want to be upset all the time? No, that's depressing. I want to be happy. And you can only do that if you put your mind to it. And do things that you enjoy doing. Like, for me, it used to be drawing. And if you get bored of something, start a new hobby. Go read a good book. That's something my grandpa was telling me. My grandpa is a very grumpy old man, but I love him so dearly, and he is a very sweet heart. Well, a lot of times when he's upset or needs to cope, he goes and reads a book. And that really helps him. Or he goes and plays games on his computer. So, find some things that are going to make you happy. And just remember, you are not alone in this situation. There are millions of people who feel the same way as you. Millions, okay? You are not alone. You may feel like it. You may feel like you can't go to anyone to talk. But that's not true. Because there's always someone. There's always someone for somebody. And that's how I feel. I feel like if I talk to people, they're going to think I'm crazy and not know what I mean. They're going to think I'm searching for attention, because that's what people think sometimes. When you try to get help, people think you're searching for attention. But no, it's when you constantly put your problems on other people instead of trying to help yourself. That's when it gets kind of bad. But it's never too late to try to be happy. And don't let it get in the way of your school life. I know that's so hard to say because I was sitting in my bed yesterday crying, begging not to go to school. But here I am because my mom doesn't let me skip school. So I'm going to be grateful for that later. Yeah, my mom and I, we got kind of a tough relationship. Butting heads a lot. But I think without her, none of my family would be where we're at. She's literally the boulder of our family. She's just trying to live. She's just trying to be happy too, but we're all setting her back from that because my dad also has problems too. I don't want to say problems. He also has things going on mentally. So does my mom. But my dad and I share similar things. So you can already get an idea. But for him it's a lot harder because he didn't get help for it until a few years ago. For me, I started medication when I was in about 8th grade. Because it started with, and I think this has to do with trauma between just, I'm not too sure, but I used to hear things a lot. I would hear kids screaming. So for real right now. I was sitting at my computer one time at my old apartment, and I heard a kid screaming, crying for help, and I was on a call with my friend. I'm like, okay, I'm gonna go out there, I'm gonna leave the door open in case something happens to me. I'm gonna start yelling and you're gonna call the police. I go out there, nobody's out there. I knock on my neighbor's doors. Were your kids out there screaming? Is everything okay? Yeah, they're fine. We didn't hear anything. So that's what kind of when it started getting weird, right? Well, then let me see what time it is. Okay. Well, then my other experience, I would be laying in my bed and I'd hear running down my sidewalk. And I was like, okay, guys, what the freak? That's a little weird. And then I had this vivid experience. I was laying in my bed. It was about 12 o'clock. And I heard crying outside my window. And it was like I couldn't tell if it was a boy or a girl, but it was a kid that seemed to be my age. And they were crying. And they were crying for their mom to let them inside. And they were like, Mom, please, I'm cold, let me inside. And just like sobbing, but not like loud, just like weak crying. And I was like, but it was loud. I was like, what? And so I kept telling my mom, I kept waking her up. I'm like, Mom, there's somebody outside my window. You need to go out there. No, Emma, there's nobody there. Okay, I go back to quote unquote sleep. I hear it again. Mom, please let me inside. And so what do? Mom, there is somebody outside of my window. And they go out there. Nobody's there. Well, that's when we started realizing, Emma, you're hearing voices. Well, then one of the most vivid memories I have, I was laying in my bed and I heard this blood-curdling scream from the apartment upstairs, but there was nobody living in there. But it sounded like it was outside of my door, but it also sounded like it was coming from upstairs. So I was confused, but it was like a woman screaming. It sounded like she was getting murdered. I was like, what? But at this part, I knew. I was like, okay, Emma, you're hearing things. And so I just laid there. I was like shaking. I was like, that's a little eerie. That's kind of scary. But yeah, that's what happens. I'm sorry. I just totally realized this entire episode of my podcast is just me rambling on about things. But basically, mental health matters is the main point, and that's what we're talking about in this video. I barely even touched up on anything about it. I'm supposed to be doing advice, and this is not going anywhere, so I'm gonna need to get a script because I don't know what I'm doing right now. But oh my goodness, I forgot this girl even existed. I just checked my Instagram, and I had this best friend of 6 years. 6 years! 6 years. Keep that in mind. Keep that in the back of your head. Well, about almost 2 months ago, she just randomly started leaving me unopened, and she became... So the first time I got replaced was with this girl. She's nice. I like her. So, I mean, I'm not too upset, but... I got replaced with this one girl. We stopped being friends because something also happened that she did, which I can't say on here. But so then I forgive her a few months later because she's like, I'm sorry, take me back. No, I made it like I don't know, but. Then, about 2 months ago, she starts hanging out with this girl again. They've been friends now. And they're talking again. That's all she talks about to me. And I already saw it coming. I was like, I'm going to get replaced again. And keep in mind, we've been best friends for 6 years. And one day, she just started leaving me unopened, stopped replying to me, and then unadded me on everything. And yeah. So, I guess you can't trust anyone. Should have known before. But that girl that she replaced me with just liked my Instagram post. Guys, should I go onto her Instagram and be like, what are you doing? Well, no, I'm not going to say anything. I'm just going to go see what it is. She's following me. She's so pretty, though. If you guys have seen The Labyrinth, she looks like Sarah from The Labyrinth. But this girl, she's also really pretty, but I'm going to look at her thing. Oh. And bro, let me tell you something. She is a freshman in high school, and I am a junior, and I am letting her disrespect me like that. Come on, you just got into high school. You just got into high school, and you are already being a cliquey girl. Yep. Well, anyways, stretch. I should do ASMR on here, guys. Okay, let's do a quick outro ASMR. Ready? For those of you who don't know, I listen to ASMR at night because it's like the only thing that can help me sleep because it literally tingles my brain. Okay, I'm sorry. This is supposed to be about mental health. What am I doing? Anyways, guys, nobody's gonna listen to this, so I don't really care what I say. Unless something happens and a lot of people hear this and they're like, what are you talking about? Because it's been 30 minutes. Who is gonna listen to a high school girl ramble on for 30 minutes? 27 and 33 seconds. But anyways, that's it. Outro in 3, 2, 1. Because I didn't do it last time.
Thanks for listening to this episode of Eagles and Airwaves, Voices and Topics from Thompson Valley High School.